We often mistake silence for absence. We imagine a forgotten place to be still, dusty, and empty of ambition. But in the sprawling, beating heart of New Delhi, the city's largest slum is a place of overwhelming motion, a continuous, relentless churn of survival that unfolds not in silence, but in a deafening invisibility. This is where the city's progress casts its deepest shadow, where millions live not on the margins of society, but in a parallel, submerged world, built on discarded hope and fueled by an endurance few in the affluent world can truly comprehend. We are about to step across a line, a non-existent border between India's gilded global ambition and its most profound systemic failure. Ask yourself, what is the true measure of a city? Is it the height of its glass and steel skyscrapers, the speed of its metro trains, or the density of its billion-dollar startups? Or is it the condition of its foundation, the silent, working poor who clean the homes, drive the rickshaws, and build the infrastructure, yet are systematically denied a stable place within it? What we call a slum is not a geographical accident. It is the physical manifestation of a political choice, an economic equation that rewards speed over inclusion. It is a community of people holding on to life by a thread, forced to invent order where official systems have decreed only chaos should remain. The core challenge, the one that must confront every visitor and every policymaker, is not simply poverty, which can be measured in rupees and lack of goods. It is systemic exclusion. It is the daily, grinding reality of life, lived without the legal right to basic human dignity. Imagine starting your day knowing that your home could be reduced to dust by a bulldozer before noon, as Khushbu Devi experienced after nearly 3 decades in Janta camp. Imagine queuing for hours before dawn at a communal tap that may run dry, or living with 3 generations shoulder to shoulder in a space the size of a modern closet. This is not merely a lack of resources. It is a deliberate, decades-long policy of denial. Informal settlements are excluded not because solutions are impossible, but because they are not prioritized. The global economy might laud India's K-shaped recovery, a narrative of rapid growth at the top. But the reality in these alleys shows the diverging paths, with significant challenges still defining life for the most vulnerable, a deep crack in the nation's foundation. This journey demands that we look past the easy judgments, the lazy assumptions of personal failure, and confront the deeper, uncomfortable truth. We must look closely at the architecture of survival in these settlements, particularly the quiet choreography of the women who are the unacknowledged cornerstones of this fragile society. Their lives are a testament to resilience, played out against a constant backdrop of filth, danger, and invisibility. We must acknowledge that in a place with no street signs, no legal standing, and no formal safety net, the greatest strength is not the ability to fight, but the capacity to endure. The question is not how these people fail, but how they manage to succeed at living, day after demanding day, against overwhelming odds. This is the story of a city within a city, and the enduring human spirit that refuses to be erased. Number 1. Footprints in the dried sewage, the geography of neglect. The moment you cross the invisible threshold into the slum, the city doesn't just change, it inverts. The rules of urban planning, sanitation, and public safety are suddenly null and void. The geometry of the space itself is a testament to official neglect. Here, roads don't just narrow, they dissolve into winding footpaths, where the very ground tells a story of survival and decay. You are walking through the accumulated history of uncollected waste, dried sewage, and stagnant water, a topography of denial. The air is not simply hot. It's a heavy, damp cloth pressed against your face, thick with the smell of rotting food, burnt cooking oil, and the sweet, unsettling sourness of decay. This isn't the background noise of life. It's the constant, toxic environment that residents are forced to metabolize. This geographical inversion means that the most fundamental urban service, the management of waste and water, is non-existent, or worse, self-managed under impossible conditions. There is no formal sewage system. What exists are open channels, narrow, unlined trenches dug by the residents themselves. During the monsoon, these pathways become conduits of sickness, carrying waste from one end of the neighborhood to the next. When the water recedes, the residue remains, drying into a fine, contaminated dust that permeates the air, the food, and the lungs. This isn't just an aesthetic problem. It is the source of relentless health crises. The lack of proper drainage and sanitation is directly linked to the alarmingly regular outbreaks of diseases like typhoid, jaundice, and chronic diarrhea. Furthermore, access to clean, potable water is not a right. It is a precarious, daily gamble. Families queue before dawn at communal taps that are often unreliable. Census data reveals a chilling statistic. More than 40% of slum homes lack drinking water within their premises. When the pipes run dry under the midday sun, families use whatever water they can salvage, regardless of the source. This is the infrastructure of vulnerability. Open drains, overcrowded housing, and contaminated water sources are all interconnected systems that conspire to keep residents in a state of perpetual struggle. This is the unvarnished reality of structural exclusion, where communities are left to navigate life without legal access to essential services because the government has not officially acknowledged any new settlement since 1994. Look inside the homes, often a single claustrophobic room, and the spatial geometry becomes even more profound. Families of 4, 5, sometimes 9 or more live shoulder to shoulder. There is no separation between the kitchen, the bed, and the bathroom. They are all one life layered upon another. Inside these small, contained worlds, half of all households still rely on harmful fuels like firewood or kerosene for cooking, effectively turning their living spaces into smoke chambers. Respiratory issues and chronic fatigue become constant, unannounced residents. The geography of the slum is thus a narrative written in filth and constraint, a physical space that not only neglects its residents, but actively works against their health, dignity, and future. In this environment, survival is not a given. It is a meticulously managed process of accepting and enduring what the rest of the city literally throws away. Number 2. The invisible labor, women's survival in silence. In the densely packed alleys and makeshift homes, the life of the New Delhi slum is held together by an unseen force, the labor and resilience of its women. They are the silent architects of survival, passing through the chaos like ghosts, their steps deliberate and soft, carving out space without ever truly claiming it. This quietude is not a personality trait. It is a strategy of survival, a necessary shield against the twin dangers of marginalization and violence. In an environment where the absence of personal space is the unspoken rule, their silence is the last space they can control. Their daily routine is a relentless, choreographed sequence of labor. They wake before sunrise to fetch water from the shared, unreliable tap. They scurry back to prepare meals with limited fuel. They wash, they mend, they collect trash, often holding multiple informal jobs. Every motion is deliberate, efficient, a dance performed in the low light of dawn. By dusk, Feet aching and hands blistered, they fold into the night, only to begin the cycle of disappearing again the next day. This is the double whammy they carry. They are not only wage earners, but also the indispensable managers of unstable households, absorbing the immense stress that poverty deposits at every corner. Yet, this essential presence comes at a devastating cost. The streets they walk are narrow, unlit, and fundamentally unsafe. Sanitation facilities, often located far from home, become hotspots of danger after dark. A safety audit found that fear of violence, especially when using public toilets or returning from work, is a primary concern for women and their daughters. The danger is not confined to the outside. Inside their crowded homes, privacy is non-existent, and support systems are weak. Domestic violence is tragically common. Statistics show nearly 48% of women in India have experienced physical, emotional, or sexual abuse by their husbands. And in the slums, very few report these incidents. The economic and social fragility only deepened during crises like the COVID-19 pandemic. When informal jobs vanished, women were the first to lose income and the last to regain it, intensifying financial dependency and, tragically, vulnerability to violence within the home. The silence that defines their outward survival, the deliberate act of being invisible, is a form of protection against backlash, social shame, and the risk of losing their only place to live. It is a powerful, tragic paradox. They are the most vital agents of community survival, yet they are forced to operate in a constant state of self-diminishment and profound vulnerability. Their enduring labor keeps the families in place, holding them together even when the systems around them are designed to tear them apart. Number 3. The cost of silence, children, and the hidden dangers. The overcrowding and inherent instability of the slum environment do not just make life difficult for adults. They create a unique and profoundly dangerous landscape for children, particularly girls. When privacy is non-existent and basic necessities consume all parental energy, the normal safeguards of childhood are stripped away. The tragedy of a 9-month-old girl found hidden in a suitcase in an overcrowded Delhi slum area serves as a horrifying warning bell for the entire community. This incident spotlights how the constant financial pressure and the need for parents to work long hours outside the home force them to leave children with limited supervision. A social worker noted that children here aren't taught about personal safety. They are taught to stay quiet and behave like adults long before they are emotionally or cognitively ready. This ingrained silence is a survival mechanism for the community, a way to avoid attracting external trouble or engaging with a justice system that historically bends away from the poor. As one mother put it, we stay silent to avoid trouble. But this reluctance to speak out, combined with a severe lack of physical security, creates an environment where children, especially girls, remain perpetually at risk. Dr. Poonam Singh points out that cramped homes make proper supervision nearly impossible, and a false sense of security around familiar faces in the community often blinds parents to potential dangers. This is compounded by the structural reality. There are no surveillance cameras, no security personnel, and people can cross rooftops unseen. The combination of inadequate adult oversight, zero physical security, and a cultural aversion to reporting incidents creates a system where the very children who are most vulnerable are encouraged to hide their pain or fear. When a community prefers to settle things quietly, it prioritizes short-term social stability over the long-term safety of its most defenseless members. This ingrained reluctance to speak out is the final, tragic layer of vulnerability. It is a psychological scar left by a society that has taught them that their voices will not be heard, or worse, that speaking out will invite greater retribution. The result is an urgent need for safe spaces and awareness programs that go beyond walls, fundamentally changing the belief that silence will bring safety. In the unforgiving ecosystem of the slum, when a child is raised to believe that invisibility is their best defense, what awaits them is not security, but the constant threat of tragedy. Number 4. Sickness and structural exclusion. The health paradox. The proximity of India's slums to rapidly expanding metropolitan areas creates a profound health paradox. While geographically integrated into the city, residents remain structurally excluded from the public healthcare system and the very conditions that foster good health. They are trapped in a cruel cycle where both the long-standing diseases of poverty and the newer illnesses tied to modern urban life converge. Infectious diseases like malaria, typhoid, and dengue fever are not occasional outbreaks here. They are woven into the environment. They spread relentlessly through the open sewage channels, stagnant water, and the sheer density of overcrowding. When the rain stops, the contaminated dust settles, drifting into food and lungs, guaranteeing a perpetual state of sickness, especially among children. Simultaneously, the population is increasingly afflicted by non-communicable diseases, NCDs, such as diabetes, hypertension, and coronary heart disease. This seems contradictory for an impoverished population, but it's a direct consequence of slum life. Chronic stress, poor diets composed of cheap, calorie-dense but nutrient-poor food, and high levels of physical inactivity within cramped living spaces fuel this silent epidemic. The paradox is clear. Roughly 21% of adults are undernourished, while 15% are overweight, a testament to the disastrous intersection of poverty and poor nutrition. Among children under 5, nearly half show signs of protein-energy malnutrition. The official response only compounds the crisis. While residents are theoretically entitled to healthcare and dignity, in practice, these services are either non-existent, chronically under-resourced, or geographically inaccessible. This neglect is not due to scarcity, it's the product of political choice. The settlements lack paved roads, electricity, and water connections, which prevents the effective delivery of health services and leaves them without legal protection. When authorities frame the problem as too large to fix, they are essentially acknowledging the scale of the crisis while simultaneously choosing not to prioritize the foundational fixes required. In this hostile environment, survival means enduring chronic illness without consistent access to diagnosis, prevention, or treatment, making the act of simply staying alive a daily battle against the very conditions of their existence. Number 5. A system built to forget. The illusion of opportunity. From a distance, the urban slum is often dismissed as a zone of personal and moral failure, a place where people simply do not try hard enough. This pervasive, lazy moral judgment is not only unfair, it is dangerously misleading. It allows outsiders to oversimplify complex societal realities into comfortable narratives, ignoring the sheer, brutal effort required just to exist. Slums are not the end of ambition. They are the visible, physical result of a system that never intended to carry everyone forward. For the millions of residents in New Delhi, life in these settlements is not a choice made in comfort, but the only path left after every other door was quietly, systemically closed. The truth is that the people here work constantly, sweeping streets, cleaning homes, selling vegetables, and recycling plastic, often holding multiple precarious jobs just to feed their families. They labor without contracts, legal protections, or fair wages. At home, They meticulously ration food, manage unstable water supplies, and keep their children alive in spaces that barely qualify as rooms. Their days are defined by necessity and invisible sacrifice. Yet, they are labeled lazy, blamed for conditions that are the direct result of decades of policy exclusion. The formal city expands with gleaming highways, luxury malls, and gated apartments. But this development comes at the expense of the working poor, who are pushed further into the shadows, both physically and politically. The government's failure to legally acknowledge new settlements since 1994 means entire communities are navigating life without the most basic legal security, denied water, sanitation, and consistent health care. This is not about scarcity of resources in a booming economy. It is a deliberate political architecture designed to exclude. What the slum truly reveals is not the weakness of its inhabitants, but the strength it takes to survive without support. They are not waiting for charity. They are actively inventing ways to exist inside a structure designed to forget them. The system has created the illusion of opportunity while strategically denying the essential infrastructure that makes genuine participation possible. The real question, therefore, is not why these residents do not do more, but a far simpler, more profound challenge. If you were born into this noise, heat, and dust, would you have escaped or simply learned to endure it in silence? Number 6. Glimmers in the dust, the unbreakable spirit of resilience. In the collective narrative of the slum, the focus is overwhelmingly on what is lacking: the water, the space, the security. But this singular focus often obscures the most profound element present: resilience. It is the fierce, quiet determination that allows seeds to grow, even in places where no one believes anything can survive. This is not born of nurturing. It is the sheer refusal to stay buried, a testament to the unyielding power of the human spirit. Look at the story of Trai Singh, born and raised in a cramped space in the Vivekananda slum, where the expectation for girls was clear: leave school, work, and accept the limits of their world. Her endurance was not a miracle. It was the result of showing up day after day, studying by candlelight on the floor, and helping to clean homes during the day. Her journey, culminating in a master's degree scholarship at the University of Sydney, is a powerful counter-narrative. She escaped the crowded alleyways not through a sudden stroke of luck, but through years of quiet, persistent effort, a refusal to let her environment define her ceiling. Trai Singh is not an isolated exception. She is an emblem of the thousands across Delhi's slums who are quietly, fiercely pursuing knowledge and opportunity. You see girls scribbling in worn notebooks, boys painstakingly fixing old radios to understand mechanical function, and mothers teaching math while washing dishes. This persistence is not an act of defiant rebellion, but an act of invisible, daily creation. What looks like an ending from the outside, a life boxed in by tin and tarp, can, for some, become a tenacious beginning. Hope here does not wait for a grand invitation or perfect conditions. It grows out of scarcity, clinging to whatever scraps of time and energy it can find. This is the essence of invented self-reliance. The community is not just surviving the systems designed to forget them. They are developing ingenious methods of existence, recycling waste, finding black market power hookups, and creating informal economies that keep the city running. Their resilience is a daily performance of order created out of chaos, proving that change does not always wait for the system to correct itself. Sometimes, it simply begins anyway, starting with a worn-out textbook or a relentless, quiet aspiration. The durability of hope, even when stretched thin, is the most fascinating discovery in these forgotten corners. Number 7. One country, Two worlds. The mirror of development. Modern India is often framed by a powerful, ascending narrative, a global economic power, a nation of technological leaps, gleaming metros, and billion-dollar valuations. Yet, within this narrative of progress, a parallel, deeply unsettling reality persists. The slum is not a place outside progress. It is a reflection of what progress leaves behind. New Delhi is, in effect, one country with two deeply divided worlds running side by side, one of rising opportunity and the other of chronic, structural exclusion. The contradictions are stark and unforgiving. As city skylines reach higher, the ground beneath the working poor remains dangerously unstable. The issues of safety, dignity, and justice are magnified in these forgotten spaces. Cases of sexual violence remain alarmingly frequent, yet conviction rates remain low, and justice consistently bends away from the poor. Women in informal settlements face this danger twice over, within the confines of their crowded homes and on the unlit, unsafe streets, often keeping silent because they know few will listen and even fewer will act. This divide is further cemented by long-standing social stratification. Despite being outlawed, caste discrimination still dictates opportunity, employment, and housing. Those from marginalized backgrounds are disproportionately trapped in low-paying, hazardous, unprotected work. The ladder of social mobility remains steep, and for many, virtually impossible to reach. The housing crisis is the physical manifestation of this systemic divide. As the city expands, driven by business districts and luxury apartments, the working class, the very people who clean the affluent homes and build the roads, are aggressively pushed to the edges. Evictions, a lack of documentation, and land politics ensure that their place in the city remains temporary, precarious, and often invisible. They are essential to the city's function, yet their own right to security is consistently denied. The slum is often simplistically framed as a place of failure, but this misdiagnosis misses the core truth. It is not failure. It is a mirror held up to a society that celebrates building skyward, but consistently forgets to look downward. It exposes the selective nature of growth, the system that allows some to benefit immensely while actively sidelining others. In the narrow alleys and beneath the rusting tin roofs, the enduring question is not simply how to survive, but what development truly means, and who is allowed to belong in the new India. Number 8. Beyond the headline, reframing survival as endurance. When we look at the reality of India's largest slums, we are often tempted to see only the immediate crisis, the trash, the hunger, the desperation. But to truly understand these places is to move beyond the headlines and recognize that what is happening is not a passive existence, but a continuous, active process of endurance and resistance. The slum is not a place where progress is forgotten. It is where the consequences of selective progress are most acutely felt. What appears from the outside as chaos is often an elaborate order created out of scarcity. Every piece of tin, every scrap of plastic, every shared bucket of water is part of a meticulously managed system of survival invented by the residents themselves. This is a community where social networks, not government infrastructure, provide the safety net. Neighbors rely on neighbors for childcare, informal lending, and warnings about demolitions or safety risks. This powerful, organic social architecture is the true foundation of these settlements, built from the bottom up to compensate for the system's absence. This enduring nature requires a fundamental shift in perspective. The residents are not waiting for charity. They are actively contesting their reality through the very act of continuing to exist. They are inventing economic models by recycling the waste of the formal city, cleaning the homes of the affluent, and operating the informal markets that keep the city's labor force functioning. They are the essential, if unacknowledged, gears in the greater machine of New Delhi. To look closely at the slum is to understand that these communities do not just survive, they endure, they resist, and they constantly remind the broader society of everything it chooses not to see. They hold a mirror up to a nation that rewards speed over inclusion and celebrates growth while ignoring the very foundations upon which that growth is built. Their existence is a permanent challenge to the definition of development. When a city allows millions to live without basic sanitation, security, or legal rights, its economic success is built upon fundamentally unstable ground. The endurance of the slum population is a profound and moving spectacle. But it is also an indictment. It forces us to ask, what future are we building, and at whose expense? The answer lies not in the shining towers, but in the persistent, powerful humanity unfolding in the shadows beneath. Number 9. Inventing a future. The unseen education and hope. Despite the overwhelming structural barriers, the slum is not a cultural dead end. It is a laboratory of invented aspiration. The greatest asset here isn't infrastructure, which is non-existent, but the fierce, unyielding desire for education and a better future, often pursued in the smallest, most inconvenient spaces. For many parents, their deepest hope is that their children will not repeat the grueling cycle of invisible labor and systemic neglect. The traditional path is one of early withdrawal. Most girls never reach high school, expected to take care of younger siblings or find small work. But the refusal to accept this ceiling drives a unique, highly motivated form of self-education. Students like Tri Singh, who studied by candlelight, are not just exceptions. They are the most determined members of a larger, unseen movement. Boys are fixing broken electronics, understanding mechanics without formal instruction. Mothers, often illiterate themselves, are enforcing strict study routines, driven by the knowledge that only literacy and skill can provide the necessary armor against the external world. Educational NGOs and foundations, like the Asha Foundation that supported Tri Singh, become crucial conduits, tiny anchors in a sea of instability. They offer not just tutoring, but the crucial psychological support of asking a child not just what they can do, but what they want to become. This simple shift in framing is transformative, giving legal and moral weight to aspirations that the formal system attempts to crush. This pursuit of knowledge is a daily act of resistance against the systems of exclusion. It is a tacit acknowledgement that the traditional avenues of upward mobility, legal housing, political connection, generational wealth, are closed. Therefore, the only currency that matters is human capital, skills, degrees, and an education that makes them indispensable to the formal city, forcing the system to recognize their value. What looks like mere schooling is, in reality, a strategic investment made with immense sacrifice, where the cost of a book or the time spent studying after a long day of labor is measured against the weight of a lifetime of poverty. The hope that grows out of scarcity here is a powerful, persistent force, reminding us that the seeds of change do not require perfect soil. Sometimes, they just need to refuse to stay buried. The slums of New Delhi are not an isolated anomaly. They are the most honest mirror reflecting the true cost of India's economic ascent. We began by questioning the metric of a successful city. Is it the height of its progress, or the depth of its exclusion? The answer, found in these crowded, resilient alleyways, is that the two are inextricably linked. What we see here is not a spontaneous collapse, but the calculated result of a system that actively rewards speed over inclusion and chooses to build skyward while neglecting its foundation. We've traced the harrowing lines of systemic failure, the daily reality of women who operate in silent, indispensable labor, carrying the double whammy of family survival and profound personal risk, the perilous environment for children, where silence is taught as the only form of safety, and the health paradox, where chronic illness is woven into the environment due to structural exclusion from sanitation and care. The enduring fact is that the neglect is not a result of scarcity, but of a political choice. Yet, this final look must also celebrate the unbreakable human spirit we've encountered. The resilience of these communities, their ability to create order out of scarcity, to invent their own economic systems, and to cling fiercely to the hope of education, is a testament to endurance that should redefine our understanding of survival. They are not waiting for charity. They are actively contesting their reality every single day, forcing the formal city to rely on their invisible labor even as it denies them basic dignity. The final mandate is a simple one. We must look downward. To look away is easy, allowing us to maintain the comfortable illusion of uniform progress. But to look closely is to recognize that the slums are a permanent, powerful indictment of a society that builds brilliance on a foundation of political negligence. They ask us every moment of every day to answer the question, what does a developed nation truly owe its people, and who is allowed to belong? The stories we've explored, of Khushbu Devi's demolished home, of the women who are silent architects of survival, and of Tri Singh who flew from a cramped alley to a university classroom, are not just documentaries of poverty. They are documents of profound, essential humanity that demands acknowledgement. If this journey into the hidden sides of New Delhi has resonated with you, and you wish to see more stories that uncover the vital, yet often unseen, realities of life in urban environments around the world, I invite you to explore the rest of the Fascinating Discoveries travel documentary playlist displayed on your screen now. There are more stories waiting to be heard, more hidden truths to be uncovered. Please don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who needs to see this perspective, and most importantly, subscribe to the Fascinating Discoveries channel so you won't miss what the world too often chooses not to face. Your support helps us bring these vital, often difficult narratives to light. Thank you for watching, and for taking the time to look closely at the cost of progress. May you carry the strength and resilience of the people we met today with you.